I never really understood how to simplify learning and training until I had this experiment a couple of years ago. So we're talking about frontline leaders, right? Now, assuming that the frontline leaders are very busy people, they're doing their work, and it is very hard to pull them out of operations most of the time because oftentimes it's very expensive because they're causing a breakdown in production. You have to have a really serious, dedicated management leadership in order to respect that frontline leaders needs to be trained. So the challenge of this client was to be able to come up with a very simple way of training people. And we sort of tested the concept. And the concept was to develop what I called a play cards. There are 4 or 5 play cards. And the first play card, it simply says, what's the cause of the problem? And there's some explanation in there. And then the second part is that what are the consequences of this problem, which is another card. And then the third card is where do you find the answers to this problem? And then the fourth card would be something like, have you tested and how do you test it to work? And then finally, how do you know that it's working? So about 4 or 5, 6 cards. Very, very simple questions, etc. and the like. And we tested it by asking a frontline leader to have a conversation with your team using these 4 or 5 cards. And boom, wow, I was so happy, I was so impressed, and the results were very good because very quickly, it was easy for the frontline leaders to conduct a 15-minute conversation around this issue. What's the problem? What's the cause of the problem? What's the consequences? Where do you find the answer? And finally, in terms of what do you test and if the result's working. Why was this so successful? We're thinking and interviewing the frontline managers why it works. And here's the following answers. Number 1, we already do it. Okay? That blew my mind. They're already doing it. Number 2, the cards just gives them a little bit of structure so that they don't miss anything, but they're doing it. Number 3, it was made so simple so that it was not abnormally new into what they do, and it is shorter because they already have the experience in that area. So my biggest conclusion when I did this experiment, which is now in a workshop called Accelerating Frontline Learning, what I have concluded is that if we want the frontline people to help us as trainers, we need to really understand and respect how they are today coaching, mentoring, aiding, helping, extending advice to their workers because those are already existing structures of accelerating learning. Reflect on that.